All right, welcome to this Wealth Guide Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack one of the most profound financial realities you will ever encounter. Most of us spend our entire lives relentlessly chasing one single number, our salary. We tell ourselves that if we can just earn a little bit more, get that promotion, land a slightly better job, secure a bigger paycheck, then poof, all our financial stress is just going to magically disappear. We're wired to think that a high salary basically equals true wealth. But today, we're going to challenge that idea head on. Because while a really good salary can absolutely make you comfortable, a salary alone is not going to make you wealthy. Okay, let's dive into this. This question right here hits on probably the single biggest money misunderstanding in our modern working world. There are literally millions of people out there earning fantastic, top-tier salaries who are still completely struggling financially. We are talking about people pulling in six figures every single year, yet they have practically zero saved in the bank. Their financial problems didn't actually disappear with a bigger paycheck, they just kind of evolved. And meanwhile, you have folks with completely ordinary, completely average incomes who are quietly building millions in wealth. So, what exactly is the difference between these two groups? Well, it's not about how much money they make. It's entirely about what they understand about money. So, to really get why this happens, we've got to look at the programming we all grew up with. From childhood, almost every single one of us is handed the exact same formula: study hard, get a good education, find a really stable job, and start earning. And look, there is absolutely nothing inherently wrong with this. A solid career provides security, it improves your life, it's great. But let's look at the hidden trap here. Time is quite literally cutting into your wallet. Most people never pause to question what happens when your income depends entirely on the hourglass. A salary is a direct one-to-one trade. You hand over your time, your skills, your energy, and the company hands you money. But the very second you stop providing that value, the income completely stops. And that brings us face to face with a pretty harsh reality. 24, as in, there are only 24 hours in a day. No matter how insanely skilled you become, no matter how many degrees you rack up, or how ruthlessly you negotiate your hourly rate, your earning potential under the standard salary model is severely, strictly capped. You simply cannot create unlimited time. You can't just manufacture a 25th hour out of thin air. And this exact limitation is exactly why truly wealthy people eventually hit a wall with that standard childhood formula and decide to completely shift their focus. Now, hitting that wall, that actually leads to the most absolutely crucial mindset shift you can make. The wealthy, they stop asking the standard question of, how can I earn more money? And instead, they ask a much, much better one. How can I build something that earns without my constant effort? This is the real turning point. This right here is where you graduate from just surviving the financial game to actually mastering it. It's that light bulb moment where you realize true wealth means untethering your income from your personal day-to-day labor. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is understanding why simply earning more doesn't solve the problem. It comes down to a trap called lifestyle inflation. It's this strange, almost invisible psychological trap that triggers the second people start earning more money. You get a raise and suddenly, hey, you feel like you deserve a nicer car. You get a promotion and naturally you want to move into a bigger house. Your lifestyle grows perfectly in sync with your income. And at first, it feels incredible. It feels like success. You definitely look like you're winning. But slowly, inevitably, this new upgraded lifestyle becomes a cage. You're making more, sure, but your new expenses have completely devoured the difference. And this brilliantly illustrates that exact trap just using plain numbers. Take someone we'll call the starter, for example. They bring in $3,000 a month and spend $2,500. It's definitely tight, they're just surviving, leaving only a tiny $500 buffer. Now, let's look at the promoted profile. They more than doubled their income to a sweet $7,000. You'd think they're rich now, right? No way. Because their spending inflated right alongside it to $6,800. Think about that. Their margin is actually worse. Their income drastically increased, sure, but their actual, real-world freedom did not increase by a single inch. The numbers grew, but the financial stress remained exactly the same. Which brings us to a really fundamental distinction. There is a massive, massive difference between actually being wealthy and just looking rich. You can have the flashiest sports car on the block, but a lot of times that car is tied to a massive, incredibly stressful financial anchor of monthly payments. True wealth is the reliable, older car parked under the money tree.
A truly wealthy person might be wearing just simple, unbranded clothes and driving a 10-year-old car, but they secretly own businesses, investments, and assets worth millions. So the real question you need to be asking yourself isn't, how much money can I spend, but rather, how much money do I actually keep and grow?
Because here's the thing, truly wealthy people understand a wildly powerful concept. Every single dollar has a job. When they look at their income, they don't just see a big pool of money waiting to be blown at the mall. They see employees. Some of those dollar employees are assigned the job of living, paying for rent and keeping food on the table. But other dollars, they're assigned the job of learning. Some are strictly hired for investing, and others are deployed for creating opportunities. Wealthy people don't just chase income just to spend it. They literally assign their dollars specific jobs so they can build real lasting ownership. Let's move along and see how this builds, because this specific mindset completely changes your daily habits. We're talking about a tale of two completely different financial cycles here. The average approach is just this endless, exhausting loop. You earn money, you pay the bills, you spend whatever is left, and then you return right back to zero to do it all over again. But the wealthy approach, that's about planting seeds. They earn money, and immediately they buy assets. They let those assets grow, and eventually those assets start creating brand new income entirely on their own. They aren't just running on a treadmill, they are actively building a machine. So what exactly are these magical assets they are buying? Well, simply put, assets are just things that produce value over time. They really don't have to be complicated. It could be starting a business or even just owning a small piece of one. It's investing in the stock market. It's real estate that generates monthly rent. It can even be intellectual property or digital products, things you create once and can sell infinitely. And critically, this also includes investing in your own skills that drastically increase your earning power. The ultimate goal here is to stop working forever for every single dollar and eventually have your money working tirelessly for you. And honestly, this is exactly why we really have to emphasize this point. Your money habits matter way, way more than your money amounts. A massive salary simply cannot save you if your financial habits are completely destructive. Imagine giving two people the exact same super high income. Person one just increases their spending every single time they get a raise. Every promotion just creates a more expensive, bloated lifestyle. Person two, however, keeps their expenses strictly controlled and consistently invests the difference. At first, you probably can't even tell them apart, but after a decade, oh man, the gap is enormous. One person has a garage full of expensive things, the other person has absolute total freedom. Now, hearing all of this, you might be sitting there thinking, wait, are you saying having a regular 9-to-5 job is a bad thing? Absolutely not. No way. In fact, a steady salary is one of the most powerful, reliable tools you possess for building wealth. The critical mistake is simply believing that your salary is the final goal. You really need to reframe how you view your day job. Your salary is your foundation. It is the absolute best capital generator you have. It provides that initial seed money you need to develop skills, to save capital, to invest, and to buy those vital assets we just talked about. The wealthy definitely don't hate income, they just understand exactly how to use it strategically. So the crucial point is, how do we actually put all of this together into actionable steps? Well, here is your definitive wealth formula blueprint. Step 1, increase your earning ability. Become incredibly valuable to the market by learning high-demand skills. Step 2, control your lifestyle. By all means, enjoy your money, but do not let your spending dictate your future. Keep that lifestyle inflation in check. Step 3, turn that hard-earned income into assets. Make your money create even more money. And finally, step 4, be patient and be consistent. This isn't some shady get-rich-quick scheme. It's a lifelong architectural build. Because, the reality of creating wealth is honestly a lot less glamorous than the movies make it seem. True wealth is rarely, if ever, created by one lucky moment, or some overnight viral success, or a single brilliant stock pick. Instead, wealth equals small decisions multiplied by time. It's built through small, calculated investments. It's built through small, daily improvements in your skills. It's those small, disciplined decisions about, say, not upgrading your car this year. When those tiny, seemingly insignificant choices are repeated consistently over years and decades, they compound into massive, life-changing financial freedom. Which brings us to the final major takeaway from our Wealth Guide Explainer today. I want you to really let this sink in. More money does not change your financial life unless you change how you use money. That is the absolute ultimate truth. You could literally double your salary tomorrow, but if your strategy remains exactly the same, your struggles are going to remain exactly the same. A salary is a fantastic tool. It pays for your current lifestyle and keeps the lights on. But assets?
Assets are what actually build your long-term freedom. The whole goal is to build a financial system that just hums along, generating wealth even while you sleep.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative question to chew on today. Take a real look at your bank accounts, look at your career, look at your daily habits, and ask yourself, are you working for your money or is your money working for you? Because once you truly internalize the rules of wealth we've outlined today, you can finally stop trading all your precious time just to survive, and you can start building a financial machine that actually gives you your life back. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, get out there and start building those assets today.